President Trump says there's a very good chance he'll meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest. This as Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban hails a golden age of U.S.-Hungary relations while seeking exemptions to U.S. sanctions on Russian oil. We now go live to NTD's Washington correspondent Mari Otsu, who's at the White House. Mari, good afternoon. Can you tell us what is the latest on President Trump's efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war?
Don, good afternoon. Yes, President Trump today is now saying that there's a, quote, very good chance that he'll be meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest, but that he'll have more to say about this potential Putin meeting after his lunch with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, citing that Orban, quote, knows and understands Putin very well. Meanwhile, President Trump also says that he's considering sanctions exemptions for Hungary. Here's his reasoning. Take a look.
Because it's very difficult for him to get the oil and gas from other areas. As you know, they don't have the advantage of having sea. They don't have the ports, and so they have a difficult problem. There's another country that has that same problem, by the way. But when you look at what's happened with Europe, many of those countries they don't have those problems, and they buy a lot of oil and gas from Russia. And as they know, I'm very disturbed by that.
This is coming after President Trump imposed what he called a tremendous sanctions on Russia's two biggest oil companies back at the end of October, while calling on Moscow to immediately agree to a ceasefire. And according to the Atlantic Council Research Group, Hungary imports 86% of its oil from Russia. And Orban is saying that an exemption to sanctions is needed, as Hungary is a landlocked country that's completely dependent on Russian pipelines for its energy supply. And as to the relations between the two leaders, there was much mutual praise in the meeting, with Orban hailing the meeting as a restoration of U.S.-Hungary relations after what he calls a, quote, ruined relationship during the previous administration. Take a look.
So now we are in quite a good position to open up a new chapter, let's say a golden age between United States and Hungary, and we have plenty of suggestions for today: economic cooperation, military cooperation, and political cooperation. We are kind of a special island of difference in a liberal ocean in Europe, and we consider ourselves as a modern Christian government. That's the proper category to describe what we are doing.
Orban also says that the only pro-peace governments are the U.S. and Hungary. He says that other governments prefer to continue the war because they think that Ukraine can win it, calling that a, quote, misunderstanding of the situation. But there was a moment in the meeting when President Trump turned and asked him if Ukraine can win, and Orban responds, miracles can happen. Don, back to you.
Okay, Mari, thank you. China's exports unexpectedly contracted in October 2025, marking the first decline in nearly 2 years. Joining us to discuss